Good afternoon. My name is Geraldine Hart, and I'm your special magistrate for today. We are here today for code enforcement hearings. Anyone who's going to provide testimony today, please raise your right hands to be sworn in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yep. Okay, thank you. All right, if the county would like to call its first case.
The first case is actually a case to establish fines. This case was actually heard back in April on the 21st and was found to be non-compliant. They were allowed 60 days to become compliant, and they have not, as of this morning, done so. So at this point, this is also a repeat offense, and so they're here for violations of the home occupation, running a business out of their home that they're not zoned for, using the property for purposes that it's not zoned for, an excessive amount of storage of inoperable vehicles, unpermitted storage buildings, noise and odor, and hazardous waste, nuisance, and pollution. At this time, the county is requesting, as a repeat and continuous offender, we are requesting an $85 administration fee, a $300 first day fine, and a $30 per day thereafter fine up until 180 days be levied on the property.
Mm-hmm. All right, and this is for Mr. Dayton. Is Mr. Dayton here? Good afternoon, Mr. Dayton. So, and you are still the owner of 22342 NFR 732 Sanderson, Florida. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we were here, as you heard the officer speak, we were here back in April regarding your vehicles and all the other items that you had on your property that you needed to clean up.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I have some pictures here from, it looks like earlier today, where there still seems to be some more work to do, and they also, you have put up a fence. Okay. So the thing about the fence is we can't unsee what we've seen. So even though you've put up a fence, you still have to allow our officers to go back behind the fence to make sure everything is cleaned up back there. Okay.
But I told you then I couldn't do it in the 2 months you give me. It would take longer, so I'm in the work of progress.
Right. And I understand, and that's why we were trying to see where you are with it. So how many cars have you removed from the property?
35,
35. How many more you got?
50.
50 more? Okay, what are your plans for getting those removed?
Get rid of them like I did the other one.
Okay. How long do you think it's going to take you to get those gone?
Couple months.
Okay. So if I gave you 2 more months, you can be another 60 days.
Should be close, yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm willing to do that for you because that's a lot of vehicles that you had to get removed.
26 years worth.
Yeah, and I know that you have, if you've gotten rid of 35, you're on a good start, and I know you've had some health problems too. So, and you know, the plan of the county here isn't to just fine you, it's to get the property clean and make sure it's
Looks
safe.
better though, don't it?
Yeah, well, it looks better than what it did, for sure. For sure, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you another 60 days because you're telling me that at the end of 60 days you should be done.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So the next case we have is with Mr. J. Blanchard, case number 0032025. And if the county would like to present its case on this one.
This case is with Mr. J. Blanchard. This is a repeat violation for Mr. Blanchard. A violation was discovered on the property back on April the 14th. And he was served with a violation notice in regards to 24-156 A, B, C, and D, which relate to motor vehicles, unlicensed vehicles, abandoned vehicles, and discarded objects, including but not limited to appliances, building parts, vehicle equipment parts. Additionally, in violation of 34-2, for any person to maintain or otherwise dispose of solid waste or litter in any amount. 24-41, which is for hazardous waste, nuisance, and pollution. And then there are codes specifically for just reference only because he is a repeat offender.
Mr. Blanchard?
Yes, ma'am. I sure don't see what you're saying. My mom's house burnt. She lives 2 houses from me. 35, 40 years she's been back there. I did take some of her stuff and bring it to my house. Went through it, going through it, and cleaned it up for her. She can't breathe and all that stuff. I tore her house down, put a new one up, and that's where I got all that. But the cars, my Corvettes, I had them for 20 years, and the same cars I've been had. Over there, I ain't got no new ones, and I did get rid of a couple of them. Here recent, but I just put in a new driveway, which it rained the last 4 months. I got a mud hole.
I remember we talked about a couple years ago, didn't we?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had building supplies that you were kind of
I was
relocating
doing
from one
the
place
home
to another.
repairs, yeah, but they all on trailers, and that ain't like on the ground. There's no garbage. There's no sewers leaking around my house. But it's all sealed. Yeah. But it looks terrible by the picture, but you come out and look, you see what I got, and you'll see, you get out of the truck, walk around, you see there's all good stuff on trailers. There's about 10 trailers sitting there. And there's some of it that I went through, I'm doing it by myself.
Well, I see you've got some stuff on trailers, then I see some stuff that aren't on
Yes,
trailers. I do see some pictures that were taken this morning, so I do see, probably a couple of junk vehicles there, and some.
That's
some-
my Corvettes. And that's a
So I've
blue
got.
one and a brown one.
If you want to come forward and take a look at this one, it's well, in just a minute, ma'am. Like,
That's my red Corvette, that you see Corvette.
It doesn't
just
have a
has
license plate on it.
Yeah,
It's
the
not
one that's
registered.
on.
yeah. It's got to be, if it's not tagged and operable, it needs to be covered. Okay, and it needs to be
Well, that's what I was
placed.
gonna say. The people across the street, my brother, we just tore his place down. He sold the place and got all of it tear it down for him. But, you know, what, I'm gonna put a lean-to up that, right in my front, other side of my house right there. Fix up, get all 3 cars. I got my Camaros and 2 Corvettes. Put them in there, cover them up, where you can't see them, and is that profitable?
Yeah. Well, why don't you go back to there so that we can see, because we're being live streamed, so that everyone
Yeah.
can see you also. So, well, I mean, in order to get anything, to get any sort of anything built onto your home, a
Well, it's not gonna be
lean-to.
built on a home, it's
well-
gonna be off to the side like a little lean-to.
Well, a lean-to has something needs to lean on,
Yeah,
right?
but-
It leans on something, so
A
it probably.
tree,
But if you're, but if you're going to put another structure on your home, you're going to have to make sure that it's properly permitted,
Yeah.
right, and allowed. So you're going to have to go through a process
Well,
of
we're gonna
doing
do
that
it.
as well.
Yeah, I was gonna kinda like build like a pole barn, more or less.
Okay.
Not really
Well-
that big, just something to hold it.
Well, even if it's a pole barn, you're going to need a permit,
Yeah.
and then it needs to be, your items need to be in an enclosed structure. So it couldn't be just a pole barn. It's going to have walls and a
Yeah.
door so that everything can be.
So you just need to take
And
it
it
back.
can't be in the front of your property. It has to be on the side or the rear.
Well, that is
So you have to make sure you
Oh,
follow
I
all
see
the
what you're saying.
setbacks.
I
And,
see.
I mean, it can't set
Yeah,
in front of,
I
like
got
if
you.
your
I'm putting
trailer's
them
right
back.
here, it can't even come
Yeah.
out this far.
I got you.
It has to be on the side or the
Well,
back.
that ain't a problem. I about got it cleaned up there. I put a couple of tents up there for my mom's stuff, kind of go through it. But her place is all set up now, so we're just kind of going through it, taking it back down there, and keeping what
Okay,
she wants
those-
and getting rid of the rest.
then, ma'am, you had something if you wanted
Oh,
to say.
she's all right.
So, and what is your name?
Amanda Bozeman.
Okay, and how are you related to the
This is
situation?
my uncle. He's my
Okay.
uncle. So, his mom's house burnt down, and he had his whole yard cleared out before his mom's house burnt down. But everything that she wanted to keep at at her house, that she wanted to bring back to her new house, he had put in his yard to save for her, I guess, or whatever. My truck was also in his yard, and I done moved that. What was it, 2 months ago? I moved that, my truck didn't have a tag or whatever, and he had fixed it for me, and I put it in my yard. I was just gonna clear that up. Like, everything in his yard right now is basically, It's not even stuff for him. It's stuff that he had saved for his mom when her house burned down, like what, a month ago maybe.
So,
Maybe
but
a
his
month ago, you know,
the
right
house
there.
is built back up though, right? So you can start
She
moving
just got a new
things
house.
over.
They're starting to move their stuff back over to there. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like I've been helping him. Me and my fiance. I've been helping him move all of his mom's stuff back over to her new property
Okay.
or her new house or whatever.
How
That's
long-
all I was here to say.
How long do you think it's going to take you to move everything back over and have all your yard?
Well, I've about got it now.
He's almost got it,
I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm
this
saying.
was
We've
kinda
almost-
rough 'cause
So-
of the
My
rain.
fiance works 7 days a week or 6 days a week, so he only gets 1 day off. So every other day every day he gets off, we've been coming over here and helping him move everything to his mom's house. But basically the stuff that's on his property now is stuff that came from his mom's house whenever her house had burned down, right there, right across the road almost.
Okay. So let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 45 days to get it done. Okay.
Okay.
And what we'll do is if you're not finished in 45 days, then the next time we come back for a hearing, we'll have to come
Okay.
back. You think you can be done in 45 days, or it's a month and a half.
If that
Yes,
rain
ma'am.
had quit, I'd have
Well,
a
like I said,
driveway
my
in.
fiance, yeah, he gets 1 day off a week. He gets Sundays off, and he comes
Yeah.
over and he helps. So
I-
we'll be able to do that.
I
Thank
know
you.
it's the worst time of year to try to
Yeah.
get stuff, but I mean, if it's sitting in the rain, it's
But I
getting
got
ruined,
all
and
the-
maybe needs to go to the trash.
and
Yeah,
So,
that part, yeah.
That's all gone.
All right,
all
thank
right.
you so much.
You're welcome. 45 days. Have a good day. All right, so the next case we have is case number 004-2025, and this is against Mr. and Mrs. James and Susan Porter for 8409 Ben Rowe Circle East in McClenny, Florida. If the county wants to read those allegations?
Are the Porters here?
No?
I didn't think so. Okay. Mr. and Mrs. Porter, their violation, this is an initial first-time violation for the Porters. They also have issues with 24-156A, B, and C, which is for motor vehicle parts thereof or inoperable vehicles over 30 days, more than 2 vehicles being stored, and none of them have current license plates. Since this is a first-time offense, staff is requesting that the property be found to remain in violation and is recommending fees of $85 for administration fee, $50 for the first day fine, and $10 per day thereafter up to 180 days.
Okay. So right now, we're just trying to find that they're not in compliance, and then afterwards, after I give them so many days and say, okay, well, they're still not in compliance, then we come back again for the fine, and that's when, unless they've made significant progress at that point, then it's likely that I would assess a fine, unless they've made significant progress and they only need a couple more days to finish it up. But for now, how much time does the county recommend that we provide for Mr. and Mrs. Porter to come into compliance to clean up their property?
They were first notified of the violations back on October 28th.
Okay.
So we're 6, 7, 8 months in,
Okay.
and a couple of different notices have gone out in an attempt to try and work with this parcel. And there's been no communication, no phone calls, no nothing.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do then is I'm only going to allow them 14 calendar days for them to come into compliance. If they have not come into compliance in the 14 calendar days, then we'll reschedule this for a fine hearing. And if they have not cleaned it up, then they're subject to be fined.
Okay.
All right, so then the next case we have is case number 005-2025, and this is with Mr. and Mrs. Shelley and Harriet Jordan for 8582 County Road 139B in Glen St. Mary, Florida.
Yes, ma'am. The Jordans are the legal owners of the property. However, they passed away a few years ago. Their direct descendant, Katina Barton, was living there. She has also since passed away. And so the property is now being housed by the granddaughter of the Jordans. I have attempted to work with this property for approximately 2 years, since October of 2023. And they are currently in violation for an attractive nuisance. They also, for 24-156 A, B, C, and D for inoperable vehicles, abandoned vehicles, no more than 2 vehicles being stored at a time that are inoperable, trailers and vehicles without license plates, and discarded objects, including but not limited to appliances, building parts, vehicle parts, or equipment parts. And at one point in time, they did have a refrigerator, or a, I believe it was actually a washer, stored on the front porch, that had not had its door removed. But that has since, at least by today's pictures, that particular item does not appear to be present any longer. But there are still remaining other objects of significance.
I have pictures from 5/19/25. I don't have any of them from this morning. You can look at
You don't have
yours.
these ones?
No, just these.
On page 3?
Oh, no.
there
Okay,
you
so
go.
there. Sorry. Sorry, I was thinking they were back with the other ones. My apologies. So I do have them here. Looks like there's been some cleanup.
It seems to change. We've never gotten to a place of
completely
being able
clean.
to go, okay, well, that's something so minor, I can go ahead and close it. That's why I gave the comparison between 23 and just took random shots from here and there over the last 2 years. It's just never gotten to a point where I could close it.
We do get to where it's a good point, and she's been very patient with us. But at the same time, I didn't even know this was happening. I had no idea. My husband didn't tell me about it. I guess he thought he could deal with it himself. I didn't know how to get off work to come here. I thought it was all taken care of, but he's a diesel mechanic, and he works on cars and things. Like, he'll bring cars to our house to work on and fix. It's not our cars. We're not keeping them. They'll be there for a little bit and things like that. As far as like the washer and stuff, like I said, that's gone. We don't have the trailers anymore. We don't have just things sitting there anymore. It's been cleaned up a lot.
I've literally, that shed that's on the picture in the back, I've literally got that filled back there, because before there was tires in the front, but they were 3/4 good. I didn't want to just throw them away with rims that I took off my truck.
We tried to get another shed, but they wouldn't put it on our property because I'm not sure if it's the property across the street. They wanted us to have a concrete slab because it's so wet at our house.
We just had to
Well-
rent a storage shed.
They need to be permitted, right? Anything that's
Well, it was under the permit size.
okay. Yeah, but you still have to go through the county to get permits.
I
right?
didn't know that.
So
I'm sorry.
it's
If it's under 250 square feet, the county did adopt the ordinance to where you don't have to have the plans engineered, and you do not have to have a permit, but they still have to see signed, or excuse me, digital plans.
For like one of them sheds that's across from Bennett's Feed, over there, we gotta have a permit for that.
So, and even if you're bringing home vehicles to work on, you've got 30. They've got 30 days. They got to leave after 30 days.
Okay, and that's
And I haven't never had anything more than that. I mean, if I did like under the tarp there, that's my kid's Odyssey. They ride it. That's why you see 2 lawnmowers there. Both of them lawnmowers were new. I don't have anything to put it under, so it's out in the rain, and it ends up getting messed up. Like,
what's the main concerns like right now with our yard? Like,
Well, we can show you the pictures if you want to show them the pictures
I'm
that
not
you
trying
took
to
of
be
today.
difficult. I just
Well, no, you just want to know what's right. I mean, that's not a problem. There's so you can see here from what I can see from the pictures, and of course I haven't been out there, but like these items here, it looks like there's maybe some furniture or something.
That's like
here.
a lawn
There's
chair. With like the trash can and stuff like that, I can see. But like that's a lawn chair. What is that? That's his toolbox, his metal toolbox.
that's the metal toolbox. That's the kid's Honda Odyssey covered up.
It's-
And
it-
then
I know
that's
it looks like junk,
That's
but
the
it's-
go-kart. Yeah,
You mean, can you move all that stuff? I mean, first of all, it needs to be moved, out of your front yard, right? It needs to be stored someplace else. If you can store it nice and neatly, appropriately in your backyard, right? So, and then the lawn needs to be mowed and maintained there.
Now, as far as the right side there's some kind of problem with a beaver dam or something on somebody else's property.
Actually, while we're here, I don't know who to call, but across the street, it's been like this for like the past 2 years, and I've called about it. I don't know if a beaver has dammed it up or what, but it floods our yard.
the previous property owners who owned the house before, there was never a problem. They always cleared out their drain ditch and stuff before, but this new person, he don't want you to come back there, and there is a dam back there.
And when it rains, our yard will not dry up for a month.
It literally
It's
floods
really
into the
bad.
other side.
Well, what you probably have to do is, set up some, if they're not going to do what they need to do on their property, what you're probably going to need to do is set up some drainage on your property so that it catches and drains appropriately, either French drains or something to get that,
Okay.
taken care of. But, so, I see we've got, the things that are in the front here, like the lawn chairs, the overgrown yard. We can't have vehicles for more than 30 days. I would suggest that if you're going to work on them, maybe you work on them in the back of the yard, but they also need to be, let's see, they're not going to be operable because you're working on them.
And that's not a regular thing. He doesn't always bring them home.
No, it's just like if it's an emergency or something, they gotta have the ride, and I've got a shop off of Lanes, but sometimes I get booked up, and if they want extra, then I'll take it home.
All right. And I'm assuming that this is zoned residential. Of course, this isn't any zoned as a licensed junkyard or recycling business or properly zoned for that. So I'd recommend that you not, because it's apparently aggravating your neighbors, but you do have the right to have it up to 30 days, but then it needs to be moved. So, from what sounds to me like, again, you guys have been working with code enforcement for the past 2 years, and you get it right there, and then life happens and things go back.
And she's been very patient with us. She has.
Okay. So how long do you think it's going to take you to get all these things that you've seen here all squared away?
If I can have like 2 weeks,
Okay.
then I can come back. If I got to, I'll rent a bigger storage shed or something.
This is what I'll do. I'm going to give you 30 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 30 days to get everything done. If it rains or something, then 2 weeks might be out of the question.
Yes,
But it's not much that's here. So as soon as you think that you're done, call, and she'll come out and inspect. And if it looks good, she can give you the all clear. And just make sure you keep it maintained. Don't let it go back into the state that it's in. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we will give you 30 days to get it done. And hopefully you won't have to come back. You won't have to see me again.
Okay, so
Okay,
if we
thank
get it
you.
done before 30 days and she comes to inspect, we don't have to come back?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. What she's going to do is she's going to give you something that's clearance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find currently you're not in compliance, right? And I'm going to issue an order that says you got 30 days to come into compliance. And at the end of that 30 days, if you're not in compliance, then you will have to come back so that, and she's going to tell me what kind of fines the county would wish to assess on the property. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other cases?
No, ma'am.
All right. Being that there are no other cases, we are adjourned.